This is just our normal backyard, and yes, the grass is dying, and we won't be replacing it with grass. We're waiting till the fall to replace it with clover. But we have a pear tree here. We planted it last year, and it had nothing good happening, but this year the fruit is producing, and we've got some baby pears. And then on the other side back here is where we have a lot of our other food growing. So these are our 2 apple trees. And then through here, we've got a lot going on. So we've got some tomatoes in here that have kind of just taken over this bed. I'm going to try to see if I can spot some of the little babies growing I saw earlier. I mean, you can see the flowers, but there was some little, down in here you can see them, some little tomatoes. And then we have some Swiss chard hidden in here that I actually am going to pull all the way out tonight since it's being suffocated. And then this is just a different variety of tomato. So those have done real well. And then over here we have some spinach. And then on this side we've got Brussels sprouts, spinach, my mammoth sunflower, which it hasn't really reached its peak height yet, but it's growing and it's beautiful. And we started all of this from seed. The only thing we didn't start from seed was our raspberries. So there it is. There's some more in here of our produce, of Brussels sprouts, which are not ready yet, and spinach, which has overgrown. Like, the leaves are ridiculous. There's a raspberry plant that needs to get put in the ground. And then over here is our squash and pumpkins. So in here we have patty pan squash, and we did start some black beauty. You can see some babies down in there, but it did not succeed. So for now we just have patty pan squash, and that's fine because we've enjoyed it. And we have another blackberry plant. And then over here we have got cucumbers and chamomile. And in here, I know we have some. These are lemon cucumbers, and they are kind of oval in shape, and they're a little bit sweeter than a regular cucumber. They're absolutely delicious, and I can't wait for them to explode some more. And then on the other side of the netting, we've got some wild sunflowers. I say wild because we took them from the lot next to us and transplanted them. They just grow wild, and then they'll reproduce by root. So those are beautiful, and we just love them. And I just tripped over the netting. So that's the chamomile right there. It's finally starting to grow and produce. And then on the other side, we have a pumpkin plant. So it had a baby pumpkin on there. Boy, it died. It had like blossom rot. But you can see down here some new little guys starting to produce. As an experiment, we just have a pole bean growing. And there's some little beans starting to grow on there. That one rotted, actually. I didn't pick it in time, but yeah. So that's our garden this year. So far, our total cost into it are around $300. And that sounds like a lot. Like, maybe not a budget-friendly garden. But we would have been at like $700 had we bought seedlings like we normally would have. So this year was new to us. We had to make an area that had chicken wire on the ground, and then cardboard, and then mulch, because we have an extreme issue with gophers here. So you cannot just plant directly in. And they still got like a lot of our lettuce that we grew. They were still able to pull it through. So that was incredibly frustrating, but we were able to continue on and keep growing some things. So back to the point, we're about $300. That was for chicken wire, cardboard, mulch, and then those beds that I have, I got on Amazon for super cheap. They're like stainless steel metal beds, and I think I paid $33 for the small and $56 for the big ones. I'd have to check for exactly the price that we paid, but it wasn't much. It was like $135 total for all 4 beds, and I think it was a great investment. And then the rest of that money went to filling the beds with soil, and then I already had a lot of the seed packets just from previous years, and I never tried starting any. So that was the first for us, and it was easy and it wasn't easy. We started them too early in the year. Where we live, you really can't plant outside until about Mother's Day because of the cold. And so we started them in February being excited, but then quickly realized the new area that we live is nothing like the desert where we came from, and so you have to wait a little bit longer. So we learned a lesson there. Some of them died and we had to start again from scratch, which was fine. And then we grew them inside until probably a month before we planted them outside, and then I put them in a semi-sun / shady area of our yard and just left them out there and watered them until they were ready to go in the ground. And I think it worked wonderfully. I'm very happy with our first from scratch growing garden, and I can't wait to see what else we can expand to. We're planning on having a fall / autumn garden, but we need to do it in buckets and grow bags. Since I don't have anything in the budget to buy new beds and all that stuff that goes into it. So if you have suggestions on how to have a fall and winter garden, I would love to know them, because we've never grown any food in the fall or winter, and I'm really excited and hopeful to grow some great things. So that is our vlog for today. All of my kids are still sleeping and it is like 8:45, but that's the life of summer, right? So we'll see you guys next time. Bye!